There's one small shift that I made in my life that changed everything for me. And my parents kind of labeled me as a procrastinator growing up, or somebody who had big plans, big goals, big dreams, and didn't quite fulfill them or capitalize on them or see them through. See them through is probably the right word. And some of you might actually know me personally and be like, well, you're a professional basketball player, you're a published author. How can you say these things? How can you put yourself as some kind of low life who procrastinated and was lazy and pushed things off and didn't execute? And that's the issue. That's the issue. You consider yourself to be lesser than because you procrastinate. You watch that Netflix series for too long. You play video games. You spend too much time on social media. And it doesn't have to be all of those things. It can be just one of them. You're criticizing yourself. You're constantly monitoring yourself and grading yourself, judging yourself. That's not the shift that I'm talking about, but that's something that for me in my life, I constantly felt this guilt about not being able to execute the ideas that I had because I really wanted to see them come into reality, but they never did because I never saw them through for long enough. And if you're new to this, or new to my channel, new to seeing me, this is day 3 of me making a YouTube video every single day. So not filming a YouTube video every single day, but actually making, editing, posting, uploading a YouTube video, a long form YouTube video, at least 10 minutes every single day. I've successfully done the first 2 days, and we got 362 and a half to go. Once this video is done, we'll be 3 days in. But for me, why am I doing this challenge? How am I going to do this challenge? And what is the shift that helped me to change my life to become these things? Published author, professional athlete, and somebody who makes content on a daily basis. Because on Instagram, I've been able to amass millions of views by staying consistent, making content, short form content. And now the challenge is, can I do what I did on Instagram in a long form format? Which is something that has been a little spooky for me. I'm not gonna lie. It's been something that, like the editing and all of this different stuff that goes into making long form content, the idea generation and being consistent with that and taking the time, blocking the time to create these ideas and see them through, which is something that you might be struggling with. I feel like we all struggle with it, and it's something that I still struggle with. I've had this YouTube channel for over a year, and it's something that I've been wanting to do for most of my life, be a YouTuber. Not in the typical sense of the Logan and Jake Pauls and whoever else is out there, but somebody who shares their thoughts in this format. There's a video of me when I was in 4th or 5th grade promoting a blanket drive, and I was totally into it. And I remember I watched it a few days ago, and then I was in these videos. It was 3 or 4 videos, and I'm hyping this up. I'm hyping this channel up like, yeah, we're going to have this, we're going to have that, effects, all kinds of stuff. And I had these giant ideas, but it only ended up being 4 videos. Why? I was thinking too big. And one of my favorite books is The Magic of Thinking Big. I think positive thinking in terms of where you want to be, where you see yourself, and holding yourself to that standard, I think that's key. But you also have to understand where you are. And there are forces that you're fighting against. There are habits that you're fighting against. So I want to take the example of journaling. For me, journaling was something that secretly I always wanted to do, but I kind of hated on it because I couldn't stay consistent. I couldn't take my journal out every single day and write my thoughts into it. No matter what I did, I tried it multiple times. And I'm somebody, I love like composition books. I have one right here. This is my journal. I love these things, man. Do you love them too? Because for me, I was just seeing the different colors. I always loved going back to school shopping and just seeing the different colors of all the back to school stuff. But yeah, going into it, I had a talk with a mental performance coach, a basketball mental performance coach, and she recommended, have you done any journaling? Because at this point I had already published my first book, and she said, you're a writer, you should be journaling. I said, yeah, I know. Everybody tells me, but I've tried it and it's just not for me. I don't know why not. And she said, listen, journaling is easy. Journaling is easy. All you have to do is write whatever you're thinking. And it doesn't have to be much. It can be, I don't feel like journaling. That's enough. That's enough for you to live a more productive life, to build the habit of journaling. Even if your thought is that simple, the act of showing up in a small way every single day gives you the pathway and the opportunity to do more. So if I get used to sitting down and journaling, I'm going to be inspired some days to write more than I don't feel like journaling. But if I'm saying, hey, every morning I'm going to sit down, I'm going to open this journal and I'm going to write something. Every evening I'm going to sit down, I'm going to open this journal and I'm going to write something. That's what I did. And I haven't missed a day since. It's been almost 3 years. It was 3 summers ago. And it's been awesome. It's been transformative because it showed me what I'm capable of. It showed me I'm not some kind of low-life failure, lazy slum bag. What is slum bag? I don't even know if that's a word, but slob. That's the word that I was looking for. Yeah, it showed me I'm more than that. I'm more than whoever I've made myself out to be. And sidebar, side note, clarification, I don't think my parents actually saw me as some kind of lazy slob. They just wanted to hold me to the standard of who they knew I could become. I just interpreted that because I was feeling guilt about not doing the things that I said I wanted to do. I interpreted their words as, you're lazy, you're worth less, you're a slob. And it didn't feel good. And it just piled on. And so I just decided to lock it away in this secret compartment in my mind and not think about it. Another example, because, okay, journaling, that's cool, but how is that transforming my life? You said you were going to transform my life in this video. And journaling is cool, but maybe you still feel like it's not for you, or you feel like it's something that you can't stay consistent in. And maybe the pro basketball thing or the published author thing is something that might prove a little bit more to you. So let's do the author. I sit down and write every single day. Now, mind you, when I first started writing this book, I was a sophomore in high school. My first novel, I started writing as a sophomore in high school. I didn't publish that book until about 6 years later. 7 years later? And don't even hit me with the 6-7 comments, but I think 7 years later. It's very possible that it was 7 years later. And the reason for that was I started writing the book and I learned a bunch of things in high school. I had great English teachers throughout my entire school career, you could say. But in high school, I learned so much more. And I knew I was going to have to go back and edit this thing. I knew there were some adjustments that needed to be made. I knew this story was not at its full potential. So after high school, when I decided to go to Europe and start playing professional basketball, man, I locked this book away in the back of my mind and said, someday. But something happened. Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest professional basketball players to ever play, he died in a helicopter crash. And only then did I really do a deep dive on what he was doing after his career. And man, it shook me to a point to where I was like, man, this next day isn't promised. So many ideas died with Kobe Bryant, and some ideas are bound to die with me as well. I don't know when my time is going to be, but I need to make sure that I'm living life to the fullest and sharing the ideas that are on my mind, because nobody can write the books that are in my mind but me. I could give you my manuscripts, my work in progress right now, book 3 of the Master of Gaia series. I could give you that, and you wouldn't be able to write the same story that I would. It might be a heck of a story, but it wouldn't be the Master of Gaia series. It would be your spin on it. And that's totally fine. But you have ideas that are unique to you. You have ideas that only you can bring into this world. And that is such a beautiful thing. And that is so far from lazy. That is so far from being a procrastinator. That is so far from being a slob. That is a gift. Every idea that you have is a gift. Even if you go out and execute it and fall on your face and it doesn't lead to anything, is going to lead to something. That first version of my book, The Sword in the Attic, that's not on Amazon. But the Master of Gaia series, The Hidden Planet, The Trials of Canum, The Rise of Taonga, which is coming out here soon, those books wouldn't exist without The Sword in the Attic. When Kobe died, I got inspired. I created a new character and I started my rewrite. And within a year, I had my manuscript done. Now, publishing the book, that was a whole nother process, and I'm going to talk about that in a different video. So make sure you're subscribed. But yeah, no, that for me, and I'm going to keep these videos short. I don't want to ramble on too much. I might make some longer ones if you feel like that's something that you want to lock into and listen to. I'm actually going to film a podcast episode with my brother here tonight. We're going to do our first live episode of the Fresh Squeeze podcast with a live audience. So it's awesome. Normally we've been doing it with me in Europe and him in the States, but I just got back to the States recently. And so now we're going to sit down together in the same room and get it done. I'm excited to do that. So if you want to see my thoughts in a more extended format, you can definitely check out the Fresh Squeeze podcast. Hit my funny bone. But yeah, I'll link that in the description and you can tune into that. That's a good opportunity to just, if you want some passive listening while you're sitting on the couch, chilling, eating food, great watches. We're working on developing that. We're starting small when it comes to that, just like I am with these videos. But yeah, this is going to be a daily process for me, and that's okay. Commit to that process and commit to something that you can do every single day. That's my advice. That's how I did it, and that's how I'm doing it with my books. It's working pretty well for me. It's how I do it as an athlete. It's how I do it in all things. In terms of mindfulness, writing my journal, reading. I started reading every single day. I read maybe 8 to 10 pages every day, 2 or 3 pages in the morning, 2 or 3 pages at night. Most of the time I read a little bit more, but at least 2 to 3 pages every morning, every night. So I guess that's 4 to 6 pages. But some days I read 10 pages, 15 pages. Some days I write for 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Other days, it's a smooth 15. So set yourself a bare minimum that you're going to say is enough, and then there will be a low barrier to entry. Some people do it with the gym. Just build the habit of going to the gym. And my mom's coming home. Hi, Mom. Making a YouTube video. Almost done. Don't worry. But yeah, some people make the habit of just going to the gym and showing up. And if you go to the gym, see all these people working out, you're not just going to walk out and not touch a weight. You're going to do something, even if it's just jumping on the treadmill and walking for 10 minutes. You're going to do something. So build a habit, master the point of entry, and I promise you that will change your life. I don't make many promises, but I can promise you that. And there's one more thing that I can promise you. The best is yet to come. I'll see you tomorrow.